boxing. Man in boxing, led the Flair Cops. Shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Woo!
Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. 100% all natural products from lotions, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, and much, much more. Use the promo code Goodfella1Boxing. Tell them your boy CJ Goodfella sent you, get 18% off. We out. All right, man, let's talk a little bit of boxing. Part of my air condition. Eddie Hearn may have to sue Big Baby Miller to get some money that Miller owes him. But first, let's talk about Maurice Hooker. He interviewed with Marcos Villegas from Fight Hub, and he went in on Regis Prograis. So let's talk about that. Hit the subscribe button, bell icon button, and share the video. And basically, Maurice Hooker called Regis a coward. You know, he said Regis called out all these 47-pounders, but when it came to fight me to go up to 147, he got scared. Now, I wanted to believe that Regis probably would have took the fight, but it do seem pretty funny that he said he wanted to be the first to take Errol Spence and avenge his loss from the amateurs. He also called out Terrence Crawford. So why not go to 147 pounds? Maurice Hooker said he just simply couldn't make the weight. He said he was willing to fight him at 145 pounds. He said Regis was crying and bitching about going up 1 pound. So he just said, you know, basically if Regis don't want to fight, then shut the fuck up. That's what he said. He said, I don't do all the internet crying and complaining. He said he ran to the internet crying and complaining. He said he don't do that. And he said he simply just couldn't make the weight. He said he was struggling to make his last fight at 144. And basically he's going to decide to basically move up and do what he got to do. But he said that, you know, Regis, you know, when they got to the press conference, I think he said in California, he said Regis was quiet all the way on the plane, and then he got to start talking reckless, you know, at that press conference, and said that, you know, he wouldn't have said it to his face, and he had slapped the fuck out of Regis Prograis if he would have said some of that stuff at the press conference to his face. So he went in on Regis Prograis, man, and he said, you know, basically saying what everybody else said, like, you called out Terrence, you said you want to take Errol Spence, you know, you said you want to do all these things, but when it came down to going up to 47 to fight Maurice Hooker, which a guy you would have been favored to beat, you didn't want to do it. And he also said that, you know, he went over and got a championship. Timothy Bradley went overseas and got a championship. Errol Spence did it. Terrence Crawford did it. You know, and he said Regis went over there and he failed. You know, and that's why he upset. And he says he think he bigger than what he is. And, you know, everything that he said is spot on, in my opinion. I mean, it's accurate. It's 100% accurate. This dude think he's some type of, you know, superstar. He think he's some type of, you know, Don Dada, the Hukahana, the, you know, the Shaka Zulu. He thinks he's this big star. And he said, I'm the one with the promoter. And what he meant by that is he the one with the promoter that's partnered with the DAZN. Regis' promoter is basically a gypsy damn near. He go from network to network trying to get the best deal. Lou DiBella don't have a home. He used to be the top sports executive at HBO, and obviously we know HBO don't do boxing no more. So where do he got pulled at? Really, Lou DiBella is a regional promoter. He's like that Northeast promoter. He got a good relationship with the IBF, and he do a lot of New York fights. But other than that, you know, Regis Prograis got the B-side promoter. You know, he don't have a championship. He can't go to PBC and get a fight because Lou DiBella has been exiled from PBC for trying to make Wilder and Joshua on his own. So he right. He don't have no pulling power, you know. And for Hooker, you know, I thought Hooker would lose the fight, but Hooker speaking facts. This dude walking around and bossing around like he the top dog, you lost. Like he said, he talked all that shit about Josh Taylor and went over there and got his behind toe up and ran back home. You know, he right. He failed to be able to get a belt. And he started to talk about his resume, and he went in on the tournament saying, other than Barashnik and Taylor and Regis, we all knew who was going to be in the finals. And he said, I made more money fighting outside the tournament than they made in the tournament. So he basically went on to say that. He said the tournament was set up for Regis and Josh Taylor. And he said the only guy, the other guy that had the chance was Barashnik. He was speaking to facts. Shavansky, it was another dude. I forget it. I always forget his name. I knew his name. It was another dude who had the WBA belt. Can't remember his name, but like I said before, with Maurice Hooker, he's speaking facts, bro. He don't do all that internet popping off and all that gangster shit, bro. He keep it 100, and he said he wasn't to fight. He said when Regis ready to come up to 47 to fight, he'll be waiting. And he also talked about overtime. He said talked about fighting Crawford and Spence, and he said He talked about Errol Spence. He said Errol Spence is a good guy. Spence said he only got 3 more fights at the weight. I think it was 3, but he said 2. He said, but if he had to fight him, only reason he'd fight Crawford or Spence if they got all the belts, he had no other choice but to fight them to retrieve a belt. And he said that Errol Spence is a good guy. He said one of his first earlier fights in amateurs, they fought each other. They sparred a bunch of times, and there's kind of been some unspoken animosity between Maurice Hooker and Errol Spence. The local dummy box community was mad at Maurice Hooker because him and Errol Spence are supposed to be beefing. You know, they supposed to be helping and promoting growth, at least amongst black boxers in Dallas, Texas. And they had a divide. They supported Errol and didn't support Maurice Hooker. But Hooker just seemed to be a solid motherfucker all the way around to me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he ain't had nothing bad to say. He said Earl a good, humble dude. And, you know, only way he'll fight him or Crawford if they got all the belts. And he said, you know, he ain't switching no trainer. He said, well, they got 3 coaches over there if he fight Crawford. He said, I'm going to have to take one of those 3 coaches and we're going to have to fight for the belt. So he said only condition that he fight Crawford or Spence is they get all the belts and they know the way to get a championship. But usually when they consolidate the belts like that, you know, nobody defends all the belts multiple times. They usually release them due to politics, due to mandatories being ordered at one time. And, you know, the reason when you get all the belts together, they don't want to consolidate because every time you bring a belt together, sanctioned belt body get less and less money. So that's boxing politics right there. But, yeah, check out Fight Hub for those interviews. Marcos Villegas did a great job and also unveiled that he used to wrestle. So if some of you dudes try to run up on Marcos, he gonna put you in the suplex or the full Nelson, and Marcos might break your arms off. So you better check yourself before you wreck yourself if you know you ain't got no combat skills. But yeah, Eddie Hearn, let's finish on Eddie Hearn. He went in on Big Baby. He said Big Baby was fronting some money for the Anthony Joshua fight, and when he failed the test, that he didn't return the money, the 3-drug test. He said that they was expected to get the money back for this Jerry Forrest fight. So whatever the money was, I'm not sure what Miller was getting to fight Jerry Forrest, but basically whatever they paying, like the highest I seen being paid on Top Rank was $400,000. So I don't know exactly what Miller was getting, but I also heard Miller got a sign-on bonus from Top Rank, and Eddie Hearn said he may have to pay that back if he is banned from boxing, and people believe that it will be a lengthy suspension for the Nevada State Athletic Commission. And Nevada is one of those commissions that, you know, they got some pull where you can't fight in a few other areas as well too, if they want to, you know, they want to put that pressure on. But for Big Baby, Eddie Hearn said he wants his money and he may have to take legal actions to sue to get his money back from Jarrell Miller. So also, if they recoup his signing bonus from Top Rank, and you got to remember, Miller got several promoters: Greg Cohen, Dimitri Sautia, I forget how to pronounce his name, and Top Rank. And then basically he got Eddie Hearn as a promoter still because he still owe him the money. So Eddie did refuse to work with him again. You know, and Jarrell Miller called him at a fight. He was trying to kiss Eddie's ass to work with him again. And, you know, Eddie got the big fights over there with Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. And he spit him out and chewed him out. And what's unique about his situation is he fell for 3 different PEDs at once. Then he come around and fell for the same PED again. Then he had a previous PED test. He popped positive and was suspended for 9 months in California when he was a kickboxer. So he got a history. So at the end of the day, he had a history coming in, you know, and you signed him, Eddie Hearn. He had a history after that, you know, and Bob Arum signed him. So, you know, it is what it is, but he ain't the worst. You know, at the end of the day, people was, you know, illegally stacking their gloves. People was putting taking the padding out of gloves in history of boxing. People was putting plaster in their gloves. And people said, well, you know, the commission was there for Wilder and Fury and this, that, and the third. I mean, you got to know your boxing history. That don't mean shit. Them dudes miss stuff all the time. Nazim Richardson caught Margarito, and Panama Lewis fighter, you know, they took the padding out the gloves, and they didn't get caught till after the fight. You know, nobody want to talk about Lil Charlo and his water bottle, his illegal water bottle. So at the end of the day, be consistent. You know, these commissions miss shit all the time. Charlo had an unauthorized water bottle versus Tony Harrison in a rematch. I'm banging that point out, but you know what? It's about popular opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking on both sides of it. We got fighters that pop hot multiple times. Paveka popped twice in the same year. Dillian White popped hot twice. Why he ain't exiled? Luis Ortiz popped hot a few times. He should be exiled. So if all of them can come in and make a living, Canelo, Lamont Peterson. If all these dudes can come in and make a living, you know, why can't Jarrell Miller continue to make a living? You know, don't try to make Jarrell Miller the face of Peds when there have been a lot of these fighters, these other fighters that have been on that shit for a long time too. So, like I said, Eddie Hearn said, you know, like ODB, he want his money. Hey, Miller, better have my money. That white man gonna sue the shit out of Jarrell Miller. This is game. Let me know what you guys think. That article's in Boxing Scene. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation to the channel? Cash App, PayPal, description. Best way to donate is share the video. You can reach out to me anytime. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All the links in the description. Got a Facebook group. Check that out right there. If you got some content, you can share it in there. One time for the one time. We done.